Get as much education as you can, but even more important than that, get as much experience as you can.
Quarterback position is so deep. I don't know who's going to win the job, but
And if you win your conference now, you're basically automatically in the 12 team playoff, but you can't.
there we go. Well, happy Wednesday to everybody. We have made it to July. Want to go ahead and wish everyone a happy 4th. I'm going to try to stream on Saturday night. Do I guess a late stream? Well, what time do I have this scheduled for? I want to I kind of want to do a 4th of July stream. I know I'm off work, which by the way never happens on a Saturday really. I'd have to actually get off, but 10 a.m. So maybe we'll go live for a few hours starting at 10 a.m. Won't be live all day, but I could do 10 to 2 or something weird. Um, Give it a few hours, get some watch hours up, things like that. So keep that in mind. Hope everyone has a amazing 4th of July and happy 250th birthday to this great country, the United States of America. Um, so I'm blessed to live here. I hope everyone else is too. Some of y'all, you don't feel like it at least. It's your own damn fault. Anyways, so love and appreciate you guys. Let me turn the TV down a little bit. I got Get Up on, and they're kind of talking up LeBron. Where does he rank him on the Lakers legend? Look, he's a hell of a player. He's not. I can name 5 NBA players probably that are better than him. Probably not in Laker history, but just in general. So anyway, so we'll get to our ACC preview, and I'll clip that and put it up and all that. But we got to talk up Ohio State a little bit. I got to thinking this week. It's been a minute for Alabama to win a title. It's been a minute for Georgia to win the title, and I don't think that there is a set program that is the set standard in college football. Um, Necessarily. I mean, if you want to go based off just the coach, Kirby Smart, for sure. Kurt Signetti. I mean, I know he won one national title. He had one perfect season. Don't forget he made the playoffs 2 years ago. Just his demeanor and the way he carries himself as a coach and a leader. That is a guy that I think other coaches should want to be like. Now be yourself, of course. Do your own thing in college football, carve your own path and legacy at your respective school. But a guy like Kirby that's on top of everybody, that's disciplined, that has a good work ethic for coaching up these kids, you know, that is the coaching standard. What about the program standard? You know, and look, I'll be the first to admit, as an Alabama fan, I want nothing more than Alabama to win it. But what if someone like Ohio State, who just won it 2 years ago, was to win it this year? Could they become the new standard of college football? Is that even in the realm of conversation? I mean, think about it. Nobody in the CFP era among current coaches has more than 2 national titles, program and current head coaches, right? Ohio State's got 2 titles, one with Urban Meyer, one with Ryan Day. But let's look at the current coaches. Because it is all about the coach and the players and everything like that. It's not always about name brand. Um Ryan Day has one title. He's a current coach with the championship. Kurt Signetti is a current coach with the championship. If you want to talk former coaches, Nick Saban has 3. Can someone beat that? For CFP titles. Not like, I mean, he's got 7 overall if you count the BCS era too, right? But anyways, I mean, definitely want some feedback in the comments section. Like, is there a set standard program today? I think based on overall how they recruit, how they're coached, the consistency, even if it's been a couple years since they won a title, Georgia seems to be that. However, could we possibly this season, if the odds are in favor of the Buckeyes, which a lot of places have them there, you know, uh, let's say if they pull it off and win a second title with Ryan Day. Not all, I mean, you got to look at it this way. They won 2 of the last 3. Um, in a new era with the Big Ten dominating, and I'll even count Michigan. I know they cheated, but I mean they were still probably the best team that year. They cheated and lied their butts off to get that title with Connor Stallions and all that crap. But they're still good, I'm not going to take it away from JJ McCarthy or Harbaugh or anybody. Um, But I just figured we'd start the show out a little bit that way. We're also going to do an ACC deep dive preview, give my predictions for the season and stuff. Um, but it's just interesting. I mean, you got to think of it this way too. So who do we have? Who's got? Okay, nobody outside of Alabama has 3 titles in the CFP era. Um, Ohio State's got 2, Georgia's got 2, Clemson got 2. One of those teams wins it this year, they have a chance. Could they be matched up as one of the best programs, the best program in the country? I don't know. We'll see. But I definitely want your thoughts in the comment section. We got a lot more to talk about. I'm gonna take one quick break. I am getting a phone call, so give me a second. I only answer the phone call because you never know if it's an emergency or something. My fiance. Anyway, calm down, dude. What the hell? All right. If I get calls, great. That's fine. I'm gonna do a really big preview for the ACC here. We're gonna clip it. It might be a while. Just bear with me. We're gonna upload it and everything. So if you guys call in and enter the back room, it might be a little while before I get you on. Um, Otherwise, if we don't really get any calls, I'll just end the show after this one. But let's do this. We're getting closer to the college football season. I want to try to do this for each of the Power Four conferences. I say we start with the ACC today. I got a little bored. I'm like, man, I got to talk about something I don't really talk too much about. And I'm always harping on like the SEC and the Big Ten. We'll save those for a different day, but we definitely, I mean, I don't see why we don't hit the ACC today. Um, got a couple notes here, and we'll look at some stuff, but just to kind of recap 2025 for the ACC, there were three ranked in the preseason. You had number 4 Clemson, who finished 7-6. Number 10 Miami, who was the national like runner up, 13-3, made the championship. Lost to Indiana, of course. Had a good game though. People forget that that was actually a really fun game. I mean, Indiana dominated in the fourth quarter, but it was fun. um, and then you had SMU, who was 9-4 and finished ranked at number or started out, I'm sorry, ranked number 16, and they did not end up um ranked, I don't think. Let me actually double check. I got it pulled up. I could be wrong. I think it was only two teams. Obviously, Miami's in there, and then I want to say it was probably Louisville or whoever. But just to kind of look, I mean, you know, the final AP poll after the championship, you had Miami finish at 2 as the national runner-up, and then you don't have an ACC team until Virginia at 16, and then that was it for the ACC. Obviously, you had SEC teams like Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss who made the playoffs. You had Texas outside the top 10. Teams like that. But Virginia looked pretty good, out of nowhere type of run. You thought it was getting done for Tony Elliott over there. And for a while, he was catching a lot of heat. He was getting 6 or 7 wins. I think he had a 5-win season or a 4-win season, typical for Virginia. But ultimately, man, 11-3, hell of a record for Virginia. That's really, really good. They were not ranked in the preseason poll, but they did finish ranked um, at number 16. So that's pretty good there. Um, 17 teams in this conference. You know, it's a little weird that it's odd numbered like that. But I kind of broke up each team. Um, I don't know if did I actually write out all these teams. I don't know, but I basically came up with like 4 different tiers. I don't have like specific titles necessarily. I mean, I guess I do, but we'll kind of yeah, we'll kind of run through it. I do have specific titles for these. And at the end of this, I'm going to pick and predict a. I'm going to tell you who I think the worst team's going to be, and then who I think is going to win the ACC title and the matchup. Not here to predict scores or nothing. Uh, just kind of having some fun with this. And again, if you guys want me to, I'd love to do this for the Big Ten, Big 12, and SEC. This will be fun to do the next couple shows that we put out. So, um, tier one, tier one, and this is like for 2026. So this is not; these tiers are not like this is who they are as a program, all time type of thing. Because if it was, I mean, that'd be a little bit harder to do. That require a lot more research. I mean, Florida State, Clemson, Miami. Who else in the ACC historically is like? Do you think of that probably at the top, right? I don't know, but if you had to do the tiers based on this upcoming season, this year's potential, uh, everything's in front of them or behind them. I came up with 4 tiers. The first tier, and I'll talk about some of these teams. The legit playoff contending teams. If we go back 5 to 10 years ago, this tier for the ACC, if we had done this show specifically 5 years ago, there's only one team in this tier, and it's the Clemson Tigers. We'll get to them a little bit later on. I could not bring myself to put them in this top tier. I guess I'll go ahead and explain that because they are in tier two. Clemson is. I got Miami and SMU. I like Rhett Lashley. I like Mario Cristobal. I like Dabo Swinney too. I'm not gonna lie, but it's just so inconsistent. You just don't know. Like it's hit or miss. They did lose Cade Klubnik to the pros. I forget where's he at? The Jets, something like that. I mean, could they win the ACC? Sure, but you basically have your legitimate playoff contending teams, right? Regardless if they make the ACC title or not. These are like, hey, if they don't get much, who in 2026 will they get in for the ACC? And again, I'm going to catch a bunch of BS and hell for this. And I'd say Miami's on that list. And I'm feeling about SMU this season. I don't know what it is. They somewhat took a small step back last year after they made the playoffs 2 years ago. And I don't I don't think they went 9-4 overall, right? They went 6-2, and they had I mean, I don't know. There was a bunch of tiebreakers, a bunch of 6-2 ACC records there, and it ended up being like Duke and Virginia for the ACC title. But SMU had a case for that. The schedule sets up nicely. We won't get into it too much. Kevin Jennings is one hell of a quarterback. And he's coming back this year. They got Tyler Van Dyke, formerly at gosh, he's been around a couple different teams. I know he was at Miami. I don't know where else he went. Um, so he's probably backing up. You got Chris Johnson at running back, and Zane Miners and Derek McFall. They got a lot of key pieces for SMU, and it's kind of weird to talk about a team like that. But in their first season in 2024, man, they enter the Power Four and make the playoffs and make the SEC title. Is that right? Or was that? Yeah, yeah, because I think they had lost to Clemson, but both teams got in. Um, and SMU, I mean, they lost the first round game to Penn State. They still look competitive on a football field. They didn't have too bad a year last year, but just personally, my gut feeling, like I know it starts with Miami, and maybe they're in a tier of their own right now going into the season. But I mean, I feel like people are sleeping and forgetting about SMU. And I might could sneak them into tier one. If not, maybe I bump them down to tier two. But I could see their schedule setting up pretty nicely for them. Um, let's go to tier 2 on the list is the Party Crashers. We need to see you do it. Basically, it's like we know that you have the talent. The schedule might set up, but if you just stay out of your own way, you can overcome great things and do what you got to do to make the college football playoff. And in regards to the ACC, I mean, maybe make it back to a ACC title or something. Clemson, Virginia, you're on this tier 2 list. Louisville, I put Georgia Tech and Duke as well. Um, really good programs, really good coaches right now there. Great season for Duke last year. Louisville was pretty good too. Clemson was down in terms of what we're accustomed to seeing going back to like 2015 or whatever, the past decade. Um, but I think for tier 2, the teams that are like, I know they can make a push and make a statement and make a claim for the CFP, for the ACC title. I know they can do it, but I got to see it to believe it for this season and maybe even the next couple seasons. Like let's say if it was like Louisville in this tier, right? And they do it. Let's say they win the ACC somehow. Jeff Brom sitting up there next year in 2027, you know, okay, they might have some returning production. Not jumping too far ahead for that, but let's say if they had a little bit coming back and the schedule sets up and blah 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 this and that. In fact, I think don't they open with Georgia or somebody next year? That'll be fun. But would you bet on it? Like, would you? Okay, Virginia, Clemson, Louisville, Georgia Tech, and Duke. Those are teams that might have a chance this year to win the ACC, make a playoff push, make some noise, cause chaos. We just got to see it to believe it, right? What if one of those teams does it? What if Clemson does it? Are we going to then assume that they're just back to being the Clemson that they were before, where they dominated everybody? I got to see it to believe it, right? Um, but those are the party crashers, right? Because I think it's for this year. It's going to start with Miami and SMU, right? But then you got those teams in tier 2 that I mentioned that might shake things up. So there's that. Tier 3, I call it the ultimate wild cards. Tier 3 consists of, again, some really rough teams last year. This is where it's going to get interesting. And it got harder to make as you go down the tier list. I did it from the top teams to the bottom teams. Tier 3, the ultimate wild cards. I would put Virginia Tech with James Franklin now at the helm. I would put a team like Cal in there. They hit like 7-6 last year. FSU, I went 5-7. They still had a good win over Bama. Say whatever you want to about the weather and Ty and Bama doing just not showing up or whatever. Mike Norvell's on a make or break year though, and I feel like he knows that. Now I'm not here to predict FSU to do anything major, but I mean they could. I mean, if they build off, well, I can't say build off anything. They sucked last year. The fact that Alabama lost to them is BS. It is what it is. It's in the past. So in tier 3, I got Virginia Tech, Cal, FSU. I got Wake Forest, and I got Pitt. That's kind of where I go back and look at the standings a little bit. I mean, it's middle of the road teams here. Uh, Virginia Tech finished 3-9 overall, but they got James Franklin now, who did amazing at Penn State. I thought he did everything Penn State needed to do, but he could never win the big games with Ohio State and Michigan. He beat both of them once, and he was there for 10 years. and played them pretty much every single year up until last season. I don't think he played Michigan. I think he played Ohio State though, but he lost. So there's Virginia Tech there. I got Cal, I got FSU and Wake Forest. Wake Forest was pretty interesting. They were 9-4 last year, but they had a bit of a struggle going 500, 4-4 in ACC play. They open with Akron, they go to Purdue. Those most likely are two winnable games. Could they make a statement in week 3 against Miami at home? I doubt they win that game, but I mean they were pretty good offense and everything last year. They had Robbie Ashford, Lamont Claiborne at running back there. Ashford's coming back. Um, it just they got to break out a new running back a little bit. Let me see who was their backup and compare it to the roster. They had Claiborne, they had Ty Clark, and Jamario Clements. Clements and Clark the third. Ty Clark, Jamario Clements. I would assume those are two go-to guys there at running back, but they look like they put some pretty good production on the field. You know, so they might have an offense. I think you always got to question Wake Forest defense a little bit. They, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, Wake Forest the last at least 5 or 6 years has always been making ball games and stuff. But did they not have like a 9 or 10 win season at one point too? I mean, they were like really close to making the ACC title. I don't know if they ever actually made it, but eh, is what it is. I would put them on the list here at the ultimate wild card. And then my last one for tier 3, I got Pittsburgh. Um, it's pretty good. Pittsburgh's pretty damn good, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. Uh, 8-5 last year, lost their last 2 games. 6-2 in conference play. When you look at that, and to kind of recap what they did last year, their losses they weren't they weren't really terrible, I don't think. I mean, they lost in overtime to West Virginia in the backyard brawl. They lost 34-27 against Louisville. They got blown out to Miami on rivalry weekend, which we obviously know what they did to make the national title game. So they were kind of on a hot roll there. 37-15 against Notre Dame. I might give you a little bit of a pass there. I mean, it is Notre Dame after all, but not that they impressed me last year. East Carolina in the Military Bowl was 23-17. Um, I mean, you are Power 4 losing a group of 5. East Carolina, I mean, they're a good team. Alabama opens up with them this year, but I mean, who wants to bet that we steamroll them at home like 50-0 or 45-0 or something like that? Okay, but 8-5 overall, 6-2 in conference play. Stat wise, Mason Heinschel, is that how you say it? Over 2,000 yards throwing, 16 touchdowns, 8 picks, 34 sacks. I've seen better, I've seen worse. 260 sack yards though. Eli Holston was your backup quarterback. Um, Jakiron Turner, 745 rushing yards. It wasn't even close between him and the second best rusher on the team, Desmond Reed, who had 278. I don't know, man. I don't know. They've always had Pitt's always put good players, especially defense. In the NFL, they got some guys coming back. I mean, I can't wait to watch Pitt. I really can't. I think they're going to be pretty good, but I can't. I cannot look at Pittsburgh and say, on one hand, I can't say they're going to suck. On the other hand, I can't say they're going to be very much improved type of thing, right? Um, I put them in the wild card spot because it's like, uh, I don't know. I guess it's just, yeah, you know, it is what it is. Look, they have a lot to show us, but at the same time, I think Pittsburgh has shown us enough to where we can put some respect on that program at the moment. We can put some respect on. We cannot crown them champions of anything though. So I'll put them in tier 3. Virginia Tech, Cal, FSU, Wake Forest, and Pitt. Last tier. Thank goodness. Because this is a long ACC preview. I can't wait for y'all to watch this. All right. We go to tier 4, our final tier for the 2026 preview and breakdown of the ACC. North Carolina. This is the just cancel already type of tier, by the way. We call it just cancel already. These are the teams that I just straight up think are going to suck. That I do not expect. Like, there could be improvement, but I'm just not buying into any type of ACC title hopes. You are borderline 6-win teams. Some of y'all's coaches are probably fixing to be out the door, and y'all just looked god awful last year. North Carolina, NC State, Boston College, Syracuse, and Stanford. I don't think I left any other teams out, did I? Stanford, golly, Stanford's just bad historically, man. You know, Indiana's bad historically, but they just won a title. So, I mean, I'll admit, if you want it, go get it. I say it all the time. If you want to win in college football, you can do it. You got to have faith and hard work and belief in your coaches and players. Would you bet your money on Stanford to do anything this year? I'd be shocked if they made a bowl. But looking at these teams specifically last year, Stanford had a 3-5 record in the ACC, 4-8 overall. Okay, who else is on this? UNC, 4-8, 2-6 in ACC play. Boston College, 1-7, 2-10 overall. Who else is on this list? Bottom of the barrel, Syracuse, 3-9, 1-7 overall. Holy crap. They lost their last 8 games. Jeez, man. Who did I leave out on this? NC State. They were okay. 8-5. Might have to bump them up a tier, right? 8-5 last year, 4-4 in conference play. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh on them. Just cancel it already. I guess I kind of put them in this cancel it already type of tier because NC State always tries to get their hopes up, and they got this Dave Doran coach that they're not going to get rid of. Just shoot, man. I can't buy into NC State. Can't buy into any of these tier 4 teams. I'm not even buying in a little bit to UNC. Holy cow, man. I mean, we did a preview for them last week, and I think we picked them 7-5, 6-6. I was hesitant. You want me to be honest, dude? Why is Bill Belichick coaching this team? He's one hell of an NFL coach. Best to ever do it in the NFL. Had Tom Brady, raised him up, trained him up to be a Super Bowl MVP, league MVP, all that stuff. I'm not taking anything away from Bill Belichick and what he did in the NFL. But you cannot just always transfer that to college. The dude's almost 80 years old. Hell, he might be. Holy crap. They might be a little bit improved. I don't know, but I still want to put North Carolina in this category of just cancel it already. Because even if they improve this year and go bowling or something, what's the chances that's going to be success that's sustained? Like long term. I know I probably shouldn't be looking down the road when talking about this year's ACC, but Oh my God, man. Wow. Anyway, I did my tier list. Long preview here. My preseason ACC champ. I like Miami to finally win the ACC. I really do. I'll take Miami over Virginia. I got Virginia tier two, like I said. The party crashers type of thing. I think we get one of those. Um, Maybe a Louisville, Georgia Tech, someone in there. Clemson back in it a little. I think the two best teams though are still going to be Miami and SMU. Personally, I think it starts with the Canes. Um, I think they win the ACC over Virginia. And to close out this segment of the show, probably close out the show, period, if we don't get calls. Uh, the worst team, I'm going to. I know I just ripped on UNC and Bill Belichick. Man, I don't think they're going to be the worst team, though. Am I crazy to say it's Stanford? It was kind of a toss. I only wanted to pick one. It's almost a toss up between them, NC State, and Boston College. I went with Stanford. Maybe I'm wrong there, but who knows? I can't really see much from NC State. I just can't. But yeah, y'all just let me know in the comments what you guys think. Again, Miami over Virginia and Stanford at the bottom of the ACC, and that'll do it for this deep dive. And again, we might have to definitely do this for the other conferences as well. So we'll try to work on that the next few weeks. Hmm. I never thought I could be so heated about the ACC, bro. Like, part of me wants to see them be successful. For a long time, I didn't because Dabo was crying about, oh, you guys are doubting us for the playoffs. Just put us in because we're a good team. You think we don't play anybody? Win, win, win. Just shut up, dude. Hmm. Anyway, let's see. What else could we talk about? I probably didn't spend as much time as I thought on this whole preview thing. I mean, I guess it went cool, but it went well. Hell, it looked really good. I think it went well, man. It really did. I don't know how long I was expecting to be talking about that. Let's see. Is Pete live? Pete doesn't go live till 11 on Wednesdays, right? Is that right? I think. Anyway, sorry, I got the cleaning lady here. Doors closed and everything too. But hmm, yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know what else to talk about. I ran through that ACC thing. I wasn't trying to rush it or anything, man. I don't know. I had my notes. I had it planned out. Um, so yeah. we'll have to figure out stuff for the next show. I might do Friday. I can try. If not, Monday. But yeah. Okay. Yep. So, oh man. Let's see what doctor at 1, selling my guitar at 5. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that'll probably do it for this show. Yeah, I hate being awkward and silent on here, so I ran out of stuff to talk about. It was a great show, though. I think it went well. I know we didn't really get a crowd or callers, but hopefully we get y'all on next time. Do me a favor, though. Leave some comments. I'd love to respond and hear back from you guys. Um, just put it in the comments section. Give me your thoughts on what I had to say about the ACC tiers, champs, and predictions and stuff like that. I'd love to hear from you guys on that, and I'll definitely get back with you guys. Give feedback, respond, and we will. Yeah, I could do a show Friday. Not a guarantee though, but we'll try to get back on Friday morning. Um, we're gonna go in at 10. Probably schedule for 7 or so. I don't know. Anyways, love y'all. Have a blessed day. Jesus loves you. God bless. God bless America. If I don't see you, happy 4th of July. Have an awesome holiday. Love y'all.